Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. And if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic and get treated for your low T. Because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. When you buy an engagement ring or fine jewelry gift from Shane Company, you get more than what you paid for. Our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. It covers everything. There's no fine print. You'll get unlimited cleanings, resizings, and repairs. Plus, it even protects your engagement ring's center stone. We stand behind the quality of our jewelry, and that's our gift to you this holiday. Peace of mind. Because a friend knows the best things in life are free. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids are going to grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices are going to be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings attached. So even though your kids will grow up and you still won't understand what 6-7 means, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Black Friday is going on now at every AutoNation store. Hurry in and save for a limited time. Buy with 0 down. Plus, make no payments till next year. Shop new and used cars, trucks, SUVs, even top luxury models. Drive with 0 down. Plus, no payments till next year. Save your cash for the holidays. Go to your nearest AutoNation store now. Limited term financing on approved credit. 90-day deferred payment. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See store for details.
Brandon Stokely here from my team, ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for winter? Worries you might need a new furnace? Don't know where to begin? Rocks Heating and Air makes it incredibly easy with their new, free, no obligation online heating and cooling quote. It takes less than 5 minutes and gives you options instantly. No calls, no waiting, and transparent pricing. Only at ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair, ROX, Rocks, Heating and Air.
Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you'll find everything you need for the holidays, all for under $35. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
And it is Denver Sports Tonight on this Wednesday night in the Mile High City. He's Dante Gomez. I am Will Peterson. We will roll with you for the next hour as Broncos and Chiefs gets closer and closer by the moment. And closer to realizing that J.K. Dobbins is probably not going to play for Denver on Sunday. He was a DNP today with a foot injury, joining a long list of Broncos players, including Pat Surtain II, still dealing with the pec, Alex Singleton. Obviously, we wish him the best as he battles testicular cancer. Trent Sherfield, Jonah Ellis, and Nate Atkins also get DNPs as well. Dante, let's just dive right into it, man. I think we all kind of knew this was coming with Dobbins, but I think the reality is starting to set in that the Broncos are pretty banged up before their most important game in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's beyond J.K. Dobbins. Obviously, there's other issues to worry about with, Pat Surtain and, the list goes on. Alex Singleton's most likely going to miss the game as well. So a little banged up at the wrong time of the year. I guess you'd prefer this versus, come January and, late December, I guess. But still not ideal as they head into one of their more important matchups of the season. Division team and a team that's won the division for, basically the last decade here. And you can really put the nail in the coffin if you're able to go out and win on Sunday.
Right.
And it's just going to make that, probably a lot more challenging of a task on Sunday, especially with J.K. Dobbins being, I would say, probably the most impactful player on the Broncos offense. You're missing him, so real uphill battle in my opinion for the Broncos on Sunday.
Yeah, and Sean Payton doesn't like to talk about injuries, but even today he was willing to sort of open up about the fact that, well, we're going to need a lot out of RJ Harvey. It's like, well, you kind of just tipped your hand. You sort of just revealed that Dobbins is not going to play. He was talking about Jaleel McLaughlin, said a lot of nice things about him. I know there are Jaleel fans out there that have been disappointed that he's only gotten a jersey in, one game this year, something like that. But you're going to have to rely a lot on Harvey, which is a lot to put on a rookie's plate. And you're going to have to rely a lot on a guy like Jaleel McLaughlin, who Sean even said today he's chomping at the bit to get out there, and I get it. But as Broncos fans, we've seen Jaleel McLaughlin play. I don't think anyone's picking him up on their fantasy team or anything like that. And then the whole Tyler Bidet thing is just kind of odd to me. I like Tyler Bidet. I know he went through the scary injury last year against the Jets, but to me, Tyler Bidet has not really shown that he's a full-time NFL player, so I don't understand why the Broncos keep dipping into him. But it does scare me, to be fair, that you just said it succinctly. This offense relies on Dobbins so much that, are you kidding me? You have a chance to bury the Chiefs, and we'll know more Thursday, we'll know more Friday, but it's looking more and more like he's not going to play. And I just, if I'm being fair, I just fear that this offense already isn't very dynamic, and then you lose a guy like Dobbins. I mean, I can't see Jaleel McLaughlin going in and having 8 carries for 50 yards on Sunday. That's just not something that I can picture happening. So to get the news today, like we talked about it last night, he's not on IR. That's great. Don't get me wrong. But, gosh, I wish it was Raiders week, not Chiefs week. And also I think, too, that if you're Sean Payton, you're going to have to decide how you divvy up these carries. Like, do you trust RJ Harvey enough to hand him the ball, 17, 19 times on Sunday? I can't see a world where that happens, but he probably is the most qualified to handle the rock that many times against the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because I was literally just writing it down here. Let's say there's 25 carries in the game here for the Broncos. How do you expect Sean Payton to split that up? Also, a part of that is, do you expect the game plan to be a little altered in terms of, do you think, we already see Bo Nix drop back and pass a lot of attempts anyway. Do you think there'll be an uptick in that? Do you think there'll be an uptick in Bo Nix, his rush attempts himself?
Hopefully, but at the same time, like, even with a healthy J.K. Dobbins, we know that Sean likes to drop Bo Nix back 40-plus times. And we've beaten the drum over and over again. That's not a sustainable formula for the Broncos, but you remove his best running back, how many times has Bo thrown this game? Like, would it shock you if next week you and I are discussing that Bo Nix threw 48 times? That's probably not a formula for success, but if Bo Nix goes 31 of 48 against Kansas City, I guess that wouldn't shock me at the end of the day.
Wow, that 31 of 48, that would shock me, I think.
48? Is that too many?
Yes.
What's his? I'll look it up. What's his?
I'm looking up his
top passing attempts this season.
Oh, okay. I was gonna look up what the gambling websites have his attempts number at. But same idea.
I bet it's over
here.
35.
I think I just looked it up and I already forgot it. 33.5.
I don't give out advice, but I would take the over. Wouldn't you? I mean, don't you think Bo's going to throw the ball 40 times in this game? Especially if Kansas City gets up 10-0, 13-0, something like that.
If Kansas City is scoring, yes. I kind of picture this game being more of a slugfest, though. I think it might be, a 20-10, a 20-17 kind of game, just based on where the Broncos' defense is at. And the Chiefs have a pretty good defense on their side of the field as well. They're no, slouch when it comes to their defense. And Steve Spagnuolo, one of the better defensive coordinators in the NFL too. So I imagine this being a grinded out type of game for both sides. But I think, what'd you say, 48 attempts? That seems a bit much.
Well, he threw 50 times against the Giants. That was his number one. Now, granted, they were down 19-0, 26-8, had to come back. He threw 42 times against the Bengals, which I remember at the time we're all like, wait, you won 28-3. Why is your QB throwing the ball 42 times? And then in the opener against Tennessee, he threw 40 times as well. So he's eclipsed 40-plus pass attempts 3 times this year. Also threw 39 times against the Eagles and 37 times a couple weeks ago against the Texans. I think what I'm getting at here is Sean can't help himself anyways. So without Dobbins, is it just going to be Bo on Sunday? And I think that probably scares a lot of Broncos country.
Yeah, it'll be the Bo show maybe. So I'm excited to see it because a lot of Broncos country, and myself included, have been fairly critical of Bo Nix and his performances this year. And this feels like a sink or swim game to me. I'm not going to, totally, have him be like, oh, he's done. And let's say he goes out there and flops. I'm not going to say, Bo Nix is done. Go draft the next guy, go replace him, go start Stidham the rest of the year, anything like that.
You're not going to go full Colin Coward on us.
I am not.
Okay.
But I think it does tell me about what his ceiling is going forward, which, like, hey, the quarterbacks that get paid those big deals, they're getting paid those big deals because you're supposed to have the offense on your back. You're supposed to carry these other guys the way we've seen Josh Allen do it, the way we've seen Patrick Mahomes do it, where it's like, hey, we're losing Tyreek Hill, we're losing Stephon Diggs, and those guys still go out there and have MVP caliber seasons. To me, it's like, hey, Bo, are you able to do this without your probably, again, most impactful player on offense in J.K. Dobbins?
Yeah, no, it's going to be fascinating to watch. And I thought another fascinating thing today was Bo Nix taking the podium. And he got asked the question if he is finding joy in being a part of the 8-2 Denver Broncos.
Well, I think it's great to win games. Honestly, it keeps you confident, excited throughout the week because it's a lot tougher to lose these games when you have things to work on as opposed to winning them and knowing that you got things to work on but you're winning games, and so you have a really good team to begin with because you're finding ways, and then when it starts clicking for you, it's going to be that much better. So we probably take for granted winning the games because we're not it's not aesthetically pleasing or it's not as good as we want it to look, but at the end of the day, you play to win, and a win is the only thing that's going to matter in weeks to come. They don't care about stats, they don't care about what it looked like or if the offense or defense played well. They just care if you won. So we just got to find reasons to continue to win, and I do think that when we start playing, with all 3 phases of the game, all 3 playing well, I think it's going to be a lot more fun.
I mean, I thought it was a really interesting answer from Bo Nix, and I think he kind of summed up the feelings of Broncos country of like, yeah, we're excited to be winning. We are glad that Denver is 8-2 and is tied for the most wins in the NFL. But he even said it himself. He says, we are kind of taking these for granted because they're not aesthetically pleasing. I will ask you, Dante, do you like Bo Nix's honesty today? Because I think he did speak for a lot of the fan base that, hey, yeah, we're 8-2, but some of these wins haven't exactly been satisfying. The Las Vegas Raiders, number 1 on that list on Thursday Night Football. Or do you kind of wish Bo had sort of poo-pooed it and say, we're winning, I don't care? Like the QB himself to admit it's not aesthetically pleasing, I did find that a little curious.
Yeah, I like the way he handled it. I think either of the extremes in that situation would have been the wrong way of going about it. If he would have gone out there and been like, hey, we're 8-2, what are you talking about? Like nothing to see here. Or if he would have gone the other way, the complete opposite side of the offenses look terrible, and it was just, all doom and gloom in his voice too. I think that would have been the wrong way of approaching it. I like that he kind of had both, aspects of it, and kind of had I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but just like an open mind almost about it of like, hey, we're winning, and that's what's important. But yeah, we need to figure some stuff out, which I think everything he said is accurate. So I like the way he went about it. I think it showed that he is capable of thinking about it on a deeper level, but still being happy with the wins, which you should be. You're 8-2. You can't be, like, oh, we're, in line to get the number 1 overall pick next year come the draft here. I think, the winning games does matter, and I like that he took that into account.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I think if you're Broncos fans, obviously you will take the wins. Chell and I chatted about it a little last night of like, guys, come on. We're the top of the AFC. Some of these conversations are a little silly. Some of these narratives are a little silly. But at the same time, I'm glad, to your point, that Bo didn't just go up there and say, everything's fine. There's nothing to see here, because that's not the tone you want from your quarterback, because then you would start to question his motives, his intelligence, all that kind of stuff, because Bo plays in these games. We all watch these games, but Bo also has a brain to let him know that scoring 10 points against the Raiders is not good enough, and I thought he acknowledged that today.
Yeah, exactly. It shows that he has a certain level of expectations for himself and for this offense while still being able to see the bigger picture of the NFL season.
And Sean Payton made headlines today talking about if the Broncos can improve in the first 3 quarters of the game, and also made it very clear that this team has got a lot of work to do early on.
It's our jobs, to offensively put ourselves in a position of starting faster. And when I discussed this after the game, there aren't many times when a game's over, when you win even, where you're fully satisfied. There's something bugging you, there's something, and certainly, getting that balance. And the time of possession also to help our defense. I like that this year we're doing better in these one-score games, and I think you gained some confidence. And if you tried to pick when did that turn, you might look at Philly. But to go where we want to go, there has to be improvement, and certainly we understand that.
And that's the key at the very end right there, is to go where we want to go, there has to be improvement. Again, acknowledgement not only from the quarterback, from the head coach as well today, that this has been fun. Don't get me wrong. This has been a fun season. But there is a little bit of magic pixie dust kind of linked in with this season so far for the Broncos that I'm not saying they can't win the Super Bowl with this formula, because we saw Super Bowl 50 win it in some senses with this formula. Like, the offense did not have a good day against the Carolina Panthers, and they still won 24-10 and hoisted the trophy and had a parade, and it was all fine and dandy. But I think any realistic Broncos fan knows that ultimately the offense is going to have to get better if, in a competitive yet wide open AFC, the Broncos are going to give themselves a real chance to represent the conference in Santa Clara.
Yeah, and I have actually a 2-part question here for you on the Broncos offense, and J.K. Dobbins most likely missing the game here. I'm trying to look at it on the optimistic side, glass half full here. So I think there's 2 positives that could come out of this. I want to hear what your takes are. Sometimes we see this in sports where, maybe the star's not out there, but the overall sum of the team ends up being more productive. We don't see that as much with like the Nuggets, because Jokic is kind of the whole battery of the team. But
sure,
we've seen it, traditionally in other sports and the NBA as well. But a bad example here in Denver specifically. But where every guy kind of picks up their 1/5 or 1/11 of the offense, kind of steps up to another level. Do you see any of that happening without J.K. Dobbins? And then part 2 was, do you think that this could lead to guys, and as far as stepping up, could actually help them long-term of the season? Like, hey, Troy Franklin takes a step this weekend, or hey, R.J. Harvey takes a step this weekend, and then when you mix J.K. Dobbins back in, it only makes the offense, more dangerous.
Well, I appreciate your glass half full. I do think that's a little utopian type of thought of like, well, Dobbins is out, so everyone else is going to step up. Like, Dobbins is a top 5 running back in the NFL. Like, I'm not saying you're writing off his injury necessarily, but don't you think that looking at it as, well, he's not there, so that means Harvey's going to pop, or Bidet or McLaughlin's going to pop? Isn't that just a little too puppies and roses and everything's great and everyone who wears orange and blue is great? Like, I think we need to admit that Dobbins is a massive, massive loss for Denver on Sunday.
He is. Again, I was trying to look at it on the optimistic side of things.
I appreciate optimism, but I'm trying to keep it realistic here.
Okay, here's another slant you could have that's optimistic. will it be more difficult for the Chiefs to game plan against the Broncos, kind of not knowing where the Broncos are going to go on offense because they've been so reliant on J.K. Dobbins throughout the season that it might make it more difficult for them to be like, hey, are we going to go out and see Troy Franklin get 10 targets? Is Pat Bryant going to get 7 targets? Like, is there a little bit of you don't know where you're going to get it from on the Chiefs side?
I hope so, man. I hope so. But also, like, you are sort of driving the Broncos bandwagon with this narrative right now. Like, the offense isn't very good regardless, and then removing Dobbins from that offense is going to make it worse. And you're sort of saying, well, if the Chiefs don't know where it's coming, like, am I supposed to talk about how Adam Prentice could come out of left field on Sunday? Adam Troutman's going to have a big game. Like,
the Chiefs will never see it coming.
They will never see it coming. But come on, even you don't really believe that, do you?
I think there could be a layer of that, and I think that could work for a game, but I don't see it working for multiple games and being successful to end the season and successful in the playoffs. But I think you can get away with one game of that.
All right, let's hope so. RamosLaw.com text line already off and running, 303-713-1043. The 5307 says, why are you guys writing off RJ Harvey as a reputable running back when we haven't even really seen him run the ball? He probably averages only 5 carries a game at most, so how could we sit back and say all this that he's not able to run the ball when he barely touches it?
Can I take this one?
I was going to say it's almost like you texted into the show because I think the texter is sort of agreeing with you on that point.
Well, I was actually going to disagree with him. You kind of said it in the text of why are we writing him off when he doesn't really carry the ball that much? Because he doesn't really carry the ball that much. Because Sean Payton doesn't trust him to be the running back that's carrying it 10 to 15 to 20 times a game. There's got to be something to that in terms of, hey, if he's not doing it, there's probably a reason he's not doing it. So I get there's a sliver of a chance that he comes out and rushes, 18 times and has a J.K. Dobbins-esque game. But to me, it's like, hey, if we haven't seen it, not saying it's never going to happen, but it would be unlikely to be like, oh, this Sunday is going to pop.
Stacy from Sedalia chimes in and says, everything will make us better. Players not getting touches while everybody's healthy is best for the team when needed and critical. I like your optimism, Stacy. Don't get me wrong. But I also don't think that RJ Harvey is going to turn into Travion Henderson overnight. So while I am looking forward to, I guess, a bigger RJ Harvey type game on Sunday, that doesn't mean that I'm predicting he's going to have some sort of wild success. The 0295 says, it would be nice if the Broncos would build up a decent wide receiver room for Bo Nix, don't you think? Yes. 0295, I have hammered the table for that, and unfortunately the trade deadline has come and gone, and Jalen Waddle is not a Bronco. Speaking of which, Sean and Bo taking the podium was kind of the news of the day, but how much did you chuckle at the fact, because I think I laughed out loud. I was sitting on my couch, I laughed out loud. Little Jordan Humphrey is now returning to the Denver Broncos. That is so Sean Payton to pluck him off the New York Giants practice squad.
Yeah, Sean loves his guys. If Will Lutz, hey, come on down. Would you like a job? Little Jordan Humphrey, would you like a job? Adam Troutman, would you like a job?
Right.
He's done. Who's the current special teams coach? Darren Rizzi, would you like a job? We've seen it
like
so
if you've
many
ever
times.
been friends with Sean Payton, you have a job with the Denver Broncos.
Exactly. It seems like a very difficult place to get fired from, or not eventually get a job there if you're struggling, I guess.
Yeah, but who's the special teams coordinator he can last year? Katwika?
Yeah, well, that was interim special teams coordinator.
No, but it was him and Westhoff had the health issues, and we wish him the best. But then Katwika, they didn't fire him right after the Chiefs debacle, but has Darren Rizzi been any better than Katwika? I mean, these special teams are still pretty much a mess outside of they did block a punt against the Raiders, and that turned out to be the difference in the game. J.K. Dobbins taking one off the face mask.
Not J.K. Dobbins, Skinner.
J.L. Skinner. Yes, J.K. Dobbins does not play. I got my initials confused. J.K., J.L.
We've been talking RJ a lot.
We've been talking RJ.
But that's my point, is that, if you were a Saint with him at one point, you basically have a job for life. As long as Sean Payton's coaching, he's going to take care of you. So I don't even know. Little Jordan Humphrey. I was like, I don't know how we got on this road.
Yeah, but do you think, because Adam Schefter, when he broke the news today, reported that Lil Jordan is expected to play. Now, the good news is Marvin Mims is out of concussion protocol. He was full today. He's going to play. We've talked about his importance, but they did cut Michael Bandy. He's back on the practice squad. I mean, we kind of have fun with it, but I'm going to be honest, man. Like, Lil Jordan suiting up for the Chiefs game doesn't exactly have me bouncing off the walls in here.
It doesn't, but I mean, at least somebody that knows the system, who's, played with Sean Payton for a while now. He's, shown to be a pretty good blocking wide receiver, which it's not like the Broncos are, killing it as far as blocking as wide receivers. It's really Pat Bryant, and the other guys are more, offensive threats. So I don't think he's going to be taking targets away from Cortland Sutton or anything like that during the game. So I don't mind the move. I think it is very low risk. I think that's fair to say, where it's like he's not going to go out there and, blow it up. He's not. I highly doubt he's going to be put in a position of like, game-winning ball, we're going to throw it to Lil Jordan Humphrey here. I don't think he's going to be in that part of the game plan. I think it's going to be, he's out there for a couple snaps, and he knows the system enough to where he won't mess it up.
The 9198 chimes in and said the Chiefs' defense is every bit the equal of the Broncos' defense, and the only stat that matters, and that is points allowed per game. I agree with you, Texter. Kansas City's giving up 17-7 a game. The Broncos are giving up 17-3. This is going to come down to points being at a premium, because that Chiefs defense is very, very good. When you think of the Chiefs, you think of Mahomes and Kelsey, but they definitely are on the backs of their defense this season. Jovan in Aurora says Lil Jordan will have a big game. All right, you could put your bank account on that if you really believe it, but I would set his over-under at 0.5 catches. The 0491 says, if RJ doesn't play well while JK is out, did we tank the draft this year? Listen, RJ Harvey hasn't been super impressive in the running game, but he's actually been pretty effective in the passing game. Yes, I was banging the table for TreVeyon Henderson. I wish TreVeyon Henderson was a Bronco, but I don't know, Dante. I'm not willing to make rash judgments about RJ Harvey based on this Sunday.
No, I'm not rash judgments, but I'd like to see him do something. I'd like to see what he looks like as the featured back, especially knowing that J.K. Dobbins is only on a 1-year deal here. So there's a chance that next year's running back room, R.J. Harvey is the lead running back. I think we're all hoping that J.K. Dobbins is able to sign an extension and stay in Denver. I know he spoke on that a couple weeks ago as well. Feels like that feeling between at least him and Broncos country is mutual. We'll see if that extends into the Broncos front office and Sean Payton, and if they want to bring him back. But R.J. Harvey's not going anywhere anytime soon as far as being in a Broncos jersey, so I'd like to know what we have in him.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a good test. And Dan from Windsor chimes in and says, you guys mentioned 25 carries. I believe Harvey's going to have about 15. Bidet gets 4. McLaughlin gets 4. I would agree with Dan from Windsor that we'd love to sit here and talk about RJ Harvey's going to have 23 carries. Probably not going to happen. Even to Dan's text, I think 15 is kind of on the high side. And I also think that a guy like Jaleel, yes, he hasn't gotten a jersey much this year, but Sean's going to lean on him because he knows him, and that's what Sean tends to do.
Yeah, 20 carries I think would be astronomically high for RJ Harvey. We don't even really see J.K. Dobbins get that many. Usually he's in the 14 to 18 range. So if Harvey gets 15, that kind of lines up exactly with where the amount of carries Dobbins was getting during this season so far. So I think if he gets 15, I think that's a good spot for him to where you're not overusing him. But you still need to, get some work out of him in this game, especially with, Dobbins being out and, Bidet and McLaughlin, I'm not relying on too heavily in this game. I mean, I think if you get 4 out of McLaughlin, I think that's high end for me.
Yeah, and he's a guy that, has been a little active on social media in terms of voicing some displeasure. And, I know he's friends with our own Philip Lindsay, and he's been in these studios before. And if you're Jaleel McLaughlin, this definitely feels like kind of a make or break game for your career in a sense. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but the shelf life of running backs in the NFL is not long, and McLaughlin has not played this year. I mean, that's a guy, if he touches the ball 4 times on Sunday, he's knowing I have to put good stuff on tape to stay in this league.
Yeah, and I will say that I think McLaughlin and RJ Harvey, specifically those two, offer that big playability where you can get a 40-yard, catch out of the backfield or 40-yard carry on any of those plays, just given the speed they have. So the Broncos offense might be a little more, home run strikeout on Sunday than what we've seen, where Dobbins has been that, stable guy. If you hand it off to him, you're going to get, 4 to 8 yards on a lot of these carries. I don't think the guys that we're talking about really fit that profile as much. So I'm excited to see maybe we'll get some of those big, 40, 50, 60-yard plays on Sunday.
Well, that would all be gravy. There's no doubt about it. Who's your boy? And I don't know if he's your boy or not, but I'm just going to call him your boy. Who's your boy on the Dodgers who hit the home run in the 9th inning of Game 7?
Oh, Miggy Rojas?
Yeah. Dude hadn't hit a home run off a right-handed pitcher all season, and he does it in the 9th inning of Game 7. That is gravy. If Jaleel McLaughlin gets a home run on Sunday, I think we both agree that is gravy.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's what you're hoping for. Like I said, I think it's going to be really hard to rely on these guys to be like, all right, go out there and be consistent through your 4 touches or through RJ Harvey's 15 touches. We've seen it with Harvey. I want to say Zach has this stat where it's 40% of RJ Harvey's yard production this entire season has come on 2 different touches, which can worry you, or it depends how you look at it. Probably more concerning than good, but it does mean that the big play is there on any given play.
Sure, it goes back to our glass half full or half empty conversation. All right, coming up next, the Nuggets played very late last night. They will play late again tonight. Are they the best team in the NBA? That's what we will ask Jake Shapiro on the other side.
The Fan Flyaway is back. Presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel, tickets, and $500 in spending money all included. First, head to thefanflyaway.com to register. Then tune in every hour to see if your name is called. If you hear your name, you have 10 minutes to call us back and be entered into the grand prize drawing. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Join Denver Sports 1043 The Fan and White Claw at Mile High Station on Sunday, November 16th from noon to 2:25 p.m. for the Fan Football pregame show. Get your head in the game with orange and blue face painting and White Claw. Grab life by the claw.
Happy holidays from Done Right Home Improvements. Putting off that home makeover till after the holidays? Well, good, because book your project now for install after and save 16% or get a great financing deal. drhi.com.
Gobble, gobble, gobble! Gobble, 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 gobble! Oh, man, I do a terrible turkey impersonation. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs from Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040. Those of you that listen to the Dan Jacobs Show know that I just love the holidays. But I also know these holidays in particular can be really tough on a lot of people, whether it's the government shutdown, inflation, the economy, whatever it is, or some people just have a hard time during the holidays as it is every single year. It's just a hard time of year for them. As always, we want to be here for you. If we can help out with a little bit of that with free food and groceries, we would love to have you any first or third Thursday of the month. Come on out to Eastern Hills Church at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road. We're even doing smoked ham and turkey this month in honor of Thanksgiving. So if you need it, anybody, no questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. 4 to 6 p.m., Eastern Hills Community Church, every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Pirie, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
At Bank of America, we're proud that more than 20,000 veterans and people with military backgrounds have joined our ranks since 2015. Now we're committed to adding 10,000 more over the next 5 years. By helping veterans achieve their career goals, we're moving from appreciation to action. And together, helping expand economic opportunity across America. Visit bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Black Friday is going on now at every AutoNation store. Hurry in and save for a limited time. Buy with 0 down. Plus, make no payments till next year. Shop new and used cars, trucks, SUVs, even top luxury models. Drive with 0 down. Plus, no payments till next year. Save your cash for the holidays. Go to your nearest AutoNation store now. Limited term financing on approved credit. 90-day deferred payment. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See store for details.
Looking to sell your used Rolex watch? We buy and sell pre-owned Rolex watches, all styles from old to new. Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry. Bring in your Rolex watch and we will buy it on the spot. Matthews, located in Highlands Ranch, serving Colorado since 1951.
Are you ready to rock? Paramount Theater presents Hairball, the bombastic celebration of arena rock on January 16th at Paramount Theater. Tickets are on sale now at ParamountDenver.com.
Colorado's favorite appliance store is celebrating huge savings during our Black Friday sale going on now. Hi, I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Craft your dream kitchen and save up to $4,400 on select KitchenAid appliance packages. Enjoy a special financing and our price match guarantee with exclusive offers you won't find at big box stores. Visit us today and experience the difference. When you think appliances, think Mountain High Appliance.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you. Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. These days, we expect everything fast. Streaming, food delivery, even same-day shipping. So why should using the equity in your home to get cash be any different? At Cake Mortgage, we get fast. We just got a client approved for $300,000 in under 24 hours with our Cake Fast Cash program. If you're struggling with high-interest debt, roll it into one low monthly payment and save hundreds or more each month. The best part? You'll keep your current mortgage rate and only pay for what you use. Cake Mortgage. Your fresh-baked fast cash loan is ready to enjoy. So don't wait. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com for thousands of 5-star reviews.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's powered by Red Rock Roofing.
Standing for greatness. It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
All right, if you stayed up late for the Nuggets last night, you were rewarded a 122-108 win over the Sacramento Kings. Denver gets to 8-2 on the season, and we'll do it all again here in a couple hours against the Los Angeles Clippers. We bring in Jake Shapiro from DenverSports.com. Jake, it's what I teased before the break. I will just tee you up for it. Are the Denver Nuggets the best team in the NBA?
No, they're not. They're the second best team in the NBA, Will, which is really, really good because the Oklahoma City Thunder are historically good. And to get to the Oklahoma City Thunder's level, the Denver Nuggets, who have the second best defense in the NBA to this point, but they really haven't played anybody, they're going to just need to improve that defense, and that's going to be something that's a work in progress throughout the course of the season.
Talking about the Nuggets defense there, right? Not the Thunder?
Yeah, the Nuggets defense needs to improve.
Gotcha. And where do you see that improvement coming? Because it kind of feels like the Nuggets already have their rotations built out. There's not really anybody on injury that we're expecting back this season. There are limitations, I think, with Jamal Murray. Christian Brown hasn't exactly been the best version of himself defensively the last, maybe year and a half, 2 years here. Where do you think those improvements on defense are coming from?
Yeah, I think Christian Brown can definitely level up his game. He was much better late last season than he's been early on this season, particularly with getting around screens. He's kind of back to the level he was at early last season where he struggled at times to get around screens. So there's that. But honestly, the biggest improvement for the defensive side of the ball is just schematics, comfortability, and communication, because this is a almost entirely new basketball team in some ways, right? You've got a new starting five, you've got an entire new bench unit. These guys are just trying to figure it out with their communication skills, and they've got a jump start on a lot of teams because they've got so many guys that are back, but still, it's a new coach in place. They're doing things a little bit differently this year, and having Bruce Brown, having Tim Hardaway Jr., having these wings reshapes the entire order of this team, and you're already seeing David Adelman kind of use Nikola Jokic as this kind of rim presence that communicates to everybody more so than that guy that gets up on top of the pick and roll and tries to deflect passes like we've seen in the past.
All right, Jake, so Cam Johnson is one of those new pieces, and obviously the start to his Nuggets career has been very underwhelming. I mean, the guy's season high is 15 points. He scored in single digits almost every single game this year. I've made the joke. I'll make it again. I keep waiting for someone to do the Scooby-Doo meme and pull the mask off Cam Johnson and reveal Michael Porter Jr. under there. What is going on with this guy, and why has he been such a disappointment thus far in a Nuggets uniform?
Well, if it was Michael Porter Jr. under there, they'd be scoring more points, Will. So,
touche, but don't you see a little similarities here that this guy can just disappear when he's making or not making and bricking corner threes?
Yeah, I understand the comparison, but you're talking about bricking corner threes as a comparison. Michael Porter Jr. shot 42% from the three-point line. Right now, Cam Johnson is shooting well under his career clip, well under league average as well. So this is, the equivalent of Russell Westbrook level bricking. This is not Michael Porter Jr. level bricking. This is a whole other level. And, I do want to give Cam some grace, even though I think you pointed it out well, Will. His season high to this point is below his season average from last year. But I do think that Cam is really focused defensively, and he's already been one of the better pick-and-roll defenders in the NBA, which is something completely unexpected. Cam Johnson is supposed to be kind of an offensive presence for the Nuggets. He's also allowing them to do some more motion things with their offense, be a little bit more creative, attack in some different ways. You have to look at their offense, Will, which is right now on pace to be one of the best offenses in NBA history, and kind of wonder, how does it even get better from here? And Cam's not getting in the way. So I wouldn't say Cam's done well. Like, I agree with you, it's been disappointing to this point, but I'm not ready to write it off, and I'm not saying it's an utter failure because I see the makings of what could be something good. And also, the Nuggets' depth is allowing them to say, okay, Cam's having a bad night. Bruce Brown closed last night. Cam's having a bad night. Tim Hardaway Jr. closed on the road in Minnesota. They have optionality, which is something they didn't have last year when they were relying on Porter, which, because of Porter's contract, was their only thing.
Yeah, Jake, and with Cam Johnson's struggles here, you pointed out a couple other players off the bench that are having pretty good seasons here with Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. Do you anticipate any changes to the starting lineup? Obviously we've seen different guys finish the game, and that's something that Adelman spoke to last year. And then part two of the question here is, how would you grade Adelman's performance so far, early into the season, first-time head coach here?
Yeah, I would say, Dante, that the starting lineup I would not anticipate to change at least before Thanksgiving, if not longer. They're going to want to give this some runway to try and make this work, because I think the best version of the Nuggets includes Cam Johnson in the starting five. And we all know the regular season for the NBA, especially when you're as good as the Denver Nuggets, is some sort of de facto practice session. Like, they are in their preseason for the real season, which is the playoffs. So I think they're going to try and give this a lot of runway with Cam before they make a drastic change. As far as your second question with DA, I would say he's done a good job. I would probably grade it somewhere between a B and a B+. I'm not even that upset with it because I think he's doing a really solid job, especially considering he's a rookie head coach, guys. His only experience was 3 games in the regular season and then 14 in the playoffs, right? Like, this is a brand new coach coaching the Denver Nuggets. I have some quarrels with some of the things that happened in Portland at the end of the game, what happened in Golden State towards the end of the game. I don't like some of his in-game challenges and his timeout usage at times, but he's learning, and I've already seen him get better at some of this stuff and more patient at times and more aggressive at times when he's needed to. But as far as the things that the normal people don't notice, like outside of timeout usage, I think David Adelman's done a fantastic job, especially with the Nuggets running more plays, being a slower-paced team. Everyone in the NBA wants to be a faster-paced team, not the Nuggets. They want to be a slower-paced team because their offense is so efficient in the half court. It's actually better for them to spend more time on offense. Think about it like football and running the ball, right? You can't get scored on if you have the ball. So the Denver Nuggets are doing this kind of smart thing that no one in the NBA is doing, right? And then defensively, David's gotten really aggressive and complex with the defensive schemes to the point where he's playing a lot of zone defenses in different types of zones. It's not always a 2-3 or a 3-2. Sometimes it's a 1-3-1. Sometimes it's a trap. So I really like the job David Adelman's done. But, yeah, I think he still needs to clean up some of his in-game management stuff, which should come because, again, he's a rookie.
All right, Jake, we'll get you out of here on this. Nikola Jokic, last I checked, 4-1 to win NBA MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an overwhelming favorite. Is Nikola Jokic going to get his 4th MVP in 6 seasons? And some, myself included, would argue that he should have won 5 in a row. This should be his 6th. Where do you land on that debate? And I understand it's November 12th.
Yeah, I would say that the last several years he should have that MVP that Embiid won. The Shai Gilgeous-Alexander one, I think, was Jokic too. I think he's been the best player in the league for 5 straight years, 6 straight years now. What I see this year, Will, is, the media obviously has dictated this a lot. But if you watched the NBC broadcast last night with Carmelo Anthony on the studio show, Jamal Crawford on the call, and the way and the reverence they talked about Jokic and how they just love the guy, it's so different than what we've seen the last couple of years where these media entities are openly, crapping on the guy from Denver who's awesome while we're watching him be awesome. I think that alone can shift this conversation maybe and draw some more love towards Jokic. But I will tell you, let alone Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think Giannis is going to be really tough to beat this year because the Bucks are just going to rack up a bunch of wins against an easy East, and Giannis' stats are going to be unbelievable because of it.
All right, great stuff, Jake. We appreciate it. We'll check out your work at DenverSports.com, and we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man. There he goes, Jake Shapiro from DenverSports.com. I want to ask Dante about the Jokic MVP thing. Plus, the Avalanche last night took a shot at the Ducks, and Gabriel Landeskog finally got on the board. We will do both things next.
Do the Broncos need to get back to basics on offense?
Every person in every situation that I've ever been in and guys that I've talked to, when it comes to we're not playing well, the answer is always, let's simplify. 100% of the time.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Wow, Leslie, your fireplace really sucks.
I beg your pardon?
Well, what I mean is your fireplace is literally sucking all the air out of your house and right up the chimney every time you burn it.
Well, what can I do about it?
Well, you could get a high-efficiency gas insert from Cozy Heat. It keeps all the air you already paid the utility company to heat, and it returns up to 80% of the fire's heat back into your house.
I'd use my fireplace every chance I get if I could do that. Maybe my furnace wouldn't need to run so much.
Well, that's the whole point. Hi, this is Keith Lair with Lair Fireplace and Patio, along with my niece Leslie, to tell you how a gas insert from Cozy Heat will give you the incentive to use your fireplace again. Cozy Heat gas fireplaces and inserts are made to crank out the heat with beauty and style.
Lair's is Denver's oldest, most trusted name in fireplaces. Family owned and operated since 1954.
We'll even give you a free in-home quote, including expert installation by our own certified in-house installers.
Find us on the web at lairfireplacepatio.com.
For top quality Cozy Heat fireplaces and inserts, it's Lair Fireplace and Patio, Denver's fireplace experts.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. National Western Complex. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. National Western Complex. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. National Western Complex. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. National Western Complex. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. National Western Complex. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
You want to be happy. You want to see your family safe, your children inspired, and your friends succeed. This is Glenn Jameron. I'm president of Alpine Bank, member FDIC. The key to a bright and promising future rests in the core values you first learned as a child: trust, compassion, empathy, understanding, and perhaps the most important of all, being kind. Respecting the traditions you hold dear doesn't make you old-fashioned, but rather empowered in this modern and oftentimes complex world of ours. In fact, your values, your leadership, your caring and kindness inspires Alpine Bank. Return to your core values. Alpine Bank, committed to Colorado and you.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss, presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
All right, good conversation with our guy, Jake Shapiro. The 9198 chimes in and says, getting rid of Michael Porter Jr. enabled the team to add depth to the bench. That is the big deal. Porter was always on the bench for the last 5 minutes of the game because he added no value. It's unfortunate that Cam is playing poorly, but the bench depth is what is going to allow this team to compete for a championship. Adds that Joker, is not exhausted. I would agree with that sentiment, actually, Dante, that like Tim Connolly, for as much as we praised him, and rightfully so, he was a very good GM. Obviously, Calvin Booth was the one that got it over the top for a title, but the Porter Jr. max contract, he's not a max contract guy. And by dumping that salary, yes, people look at it as well. It's just Cam for Mike. But Bruce is back. Jonas Valanciunas is here. Tim Hardaway Jr. is here. The Nuggets shedding themselves to that contract made them a lot better basketball team. It just did.
Yes, exactly. It was more than just a 1-for-1. It was basically like a 4-for-1 there. And the ability for them to play all these different guys, I think is great for Jokic to be able to rest during the regular season. We've seen him be a little exhausted in some of these playoff series the last couple of years here. So I think that's going to go a long way. And I think it should reduce his minutes throughout the year, which will be good. So, and I think Cam Johnson will come around a corner at some point. I don't think he's going to play this poorly all season. I still think Cam Johnson, even 1-for-1, is better than Michael Porter Jr. So
Michael Jr. Porter?
Yeah.
You almost went full Charles Barkley there. Yeah.
So I still think he's better 1-for-1. Has not been seen yet, but I think by the end of the year we'll be saying that. But yeah, if you factor in the additional pieces the Nuggets were able to add, it's a home run trade for the Broncos for the Nuggets.
Let me run these MVP odds by you. Shea is 1.8 to 1. Luka is 3.2 to 1, and Nikola is 4 to 1. Giannis checks in at plus 550. And Wembanyama is 9 to 1. After that, it's a huge drop off to Cade Cunningham. Out of those 5 guys, man, I get it. Shea's the most recent winner, and Luka is obviously great in LA. But I kind of like Jokic at 4 to 1. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think it's great value there. My pick at this point would probably be Luka still. I just think he's going to amass these crazy scoring numbers this year, probably going to lead the league in scoring.
Maybe. Yeah, but what about when LeBron comes back, right?
I think
doesn't
that's
that change
team.
things?
I mean, it does, but I think that's Luka's team. I don't think anybody in that organization is putting LeBron over Luka, and I think that's why we saw a lot of these reports of, LeBron might get traded. I don't think he likes being second banana, but I think he is second banana in LA at this point.
He's also like 41 years old.
Exactly.
Right?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But he for the last 15 to 20 years of his NBA history here, it's been like, oh no, it's my way or the highway, and that's a lot of people think is why he left Miami, is because Pat Riley wasn't necessarily giving in to all those demands LeBron had here. So I think Luka is the 1A in Los Angeles, and I think he's going to lead the league in scoring. And if they can win enough games, which I'm talking maybe like 50-plus games, I think it's going to be hard not to give him the MVP. But I think Jokic is going to have a phenomenal year. Jokic isn't out for MVPs at this point. He's the greatest player in the world. No one's confusing that. To me, it's about him trying to win another championship, and that's got to be priority number 1 on the Nuggets and his own list.
Yeah, and I'm looking at right now, ESPN just posted a clip from Charles Barkley where he says, we take Nikola Jokic for granted. He is the best basketball player in the world. And honestly, I try to remind Nuggets fans of this all the time. Like, do not take this guy for granted. Because guess what? I'm in my mid-30s. You're in your late 20s. Dante, if everything breaks right for us, we could live until we're in our 80s or our 90s. And we will never see a basketball player in a Nuggets uniform this good ever again.
No, I mean, everything he does, the efficiency he shot the ball with last night was incredible. And I think his efficiency this year will be even better than what we've seen the last couple of years because it's not as much on his shoulders. He's able to kind of distribute, literally distribute the ball for assists, but distribute responsibilities as well. It's not all on him. So I think that'll be good for him come playoff time. And he's just so good. The way he impacts every single play. You can't play defense without having, 5 guys basically be focused on Jokic. And then when you do that, he's like, oh, your eyes over here? Well, let me pass the ball into the corner for a wide open, Tim Hardaway 3 or whoever it is. So his gravitation to the ball and the defense's gravitation towards him is just incredible. I don't remember seeing anybody like it in terms of just the importance he is to the team. I don't even know what else to say. It's incredible.
I mean, we may be watching the best basketball player of all time. Like, I don't think that's hyperbole. Michael Jordan's great. LeBron James is great. Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, they're all great. But literally, the best player in the history of the league may play in Denver, Colorado.
No, I think that's a fair thing to say. I will say part of that is the ability that the Nuggets coaching staff gives him in terms of, hey, it's your show. We haven't really seen that, in the 80s and 90s, a little bit with, Michael Jordan, but a lot of it was more team-oriented basketball of, hey, we're going to run it through the point guard and get it to these other guys. It's very non-traditional basketball in the last 10 years, and I think that only helps Jokic even more.
All right, 5 seconds or less. Avs shot the Ducks last night. That was impressive, right?
Yes. I think it depends what you think of the Ducks, but they're
they're good.
They're an up-and-coming team, and the Avs were able to take care of business. They're also incredible. They're on a heater. Good for the Avs. Let's see it in the playoffs, though.
3 parades the next 8 months. For Dante, I'm Will. It's DST on the Fan.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan is on a mission to feed families this holiday season, and we need your help. As part of our Fill the Truck campaign, we'll be collecting canned goods and non-perishable food items to benefit the Food Bank of the Rockies November 19th, 20th, and 21st. So stop by the Walmart Supercenter in Highlands Ranch near C470 in Quebec from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and help us fill the truck for those in need. Head to denversports.com/truck for more info. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
At Postman Law, we're not your typical personal injury firm. Our lawyers have argued and won at the United States Supreme Court. We've gone head-to-head with giant corporations like Uber and Amazon, and we've helped clients recover billions in verdicts and settlements. We bring that same firepower to every case, no matter the size. When you've been injured, having the right lawyer matters. Call 844-POSTMAN or visit postmanlaw.com. Others promise, Postman delivers.
Call 844-POSTMAN. Attorney advertising.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing,